Now Jessie is busy working on her excavations, and she's busy just like we have all been busy in the month of May, which lived up to its reputation for being the busiest outdoor month here at Sky Manor. And we are definitely in May. Actually, very late May. It's the 31st. It's traditional Memorial Day, but Memorial Day is always on Monday, so that was actually yesterday. But to prove to you that it is in fact May, the chives are blooming. These lovely little purple blooms, and behind them are irises blooming, which is also another sign that we are in the month of May. Our water feature is looking very nice, and we do have a resident frog, although I don't see him today. But he's been there every day. He likes to hang out on the rocks up top, and then when he gets too hot, he goes down into the water. But so far, he's been a consistent resident. So let's talk about bed number 1. And this interesting looking planting is sweet potatoes. And what we have here is, what's not as easy to see is that there's green coated chicken wire over these beds, and there's also those things which happen to be mud mats for scraping your shoes on when you come in. And I thought I'd try those for rodent protection in addition to the traditional chicken wire, because last year we did not get any sweet potatoes at all, and part of it, I'm sure, was because I didn't use any of this kind of protection. But the other thing that's interesting about sweet potatoes this year is that the first planting, they pretty much all died, except for, I guess, maybe these two right here, because it's kind of difficult to plant underneath these things, and I didn't really pull the soil around the roots as well as I should have, so I think they just dried up and died. On to pole beans. We've got 3 varieties of pole beans going on. Vortex, Northeaster, and Red Noodle, and they're just sort of distributed around. As you might be able to see from that shot, they're already starting to wrap around and climb up the trellises, so that's nice. Meanwhile, this is just an extra row of brassicas, just the extra seedlings. I didn't want to throw them away. It looks like they're being chewed up a little bit, so I'm going to need to hit that with bacillus. This is a row of spinach, which is struggling a little, and Swiss chard, which I have not, I haven't harvested any of that yet, but some of those plants are doing pretty well. And then this is another row of much younger Swiss chard coming in, and likewise a row of spinach. I think that's spinach that's coming in. And then we've got 2 rows here of carrots, and the first planting did not come up at all. So there's another, I did just another planting this week, so maybe they'll come up. And these are row radishes, which are starting to bulb up a little bit. If you look really closely there, you might be able to see that guy in there. But too soon to pull them. And here in bed 2, we've got a nice row of romaine lettuce. They were getting hit pretty severely with slugs, but I think I've slowed them down. And then a couple of rows of peas, snap peas and pea pods. This is another row of spinach. And then we move on to summer squash. And I can't exactly remember which variety is which. One is a yellow crookneck, one is a zucchini, and one is a scallop squash. And I think this one, which is the zucchini, it also got chewed up a little bit. So hopefully they'll recover and keep going. Then we got your brassicas proper. This is the cheddar cauliflower, followed by cabbage, and I think that's storage number 4 cabbage, and broccoli, bay meadows, and finally Brussels sprouts. We are trying again this year, and that's what Jessie is looking at. Well, she's looking at me now. Don't dig there, Jessie. These guys also looks like they're getting hit by caterpillars a little bit, so it's time to bring out the BT. Now the potatoes are so far along that I've already hilled them up. You can probably see evidence of that. And they're looking quite healthy, good germination, very, very nice so far. Now, Frankie, don't go digging in there, boy. Just go bark at whatever Jessie's barking at. What's up, Jessie? Oh, the lady next door is doing archery. All right, so that brings us to onions. Onions are also looking pretty good. We've got Red Wing, Candy, and Patterson. So other than Candy, those are new varieties for me. I haven't tried. They seem to be doing okay. And then that brings us over to bed number 4. And you can see lots of tomato seedlings, which are already, some of them anyway, starting to blossom. And then we got 4 varieties of peppers, which are also doing okay. And eggplant, which are already being hit ferociously by flea beetles. Flea beetles just love eggplant for some reason, so I need to spray for them guys. And then we got a couple of rows of leeks here, and I hope to do better with the leeks this year than I did last year, because they got kind of smothered by loofah gourds. All right, so now we're on to bed number 5, and I know I said I wasn't growing any pumpkins or winter squash this year, and I'm a little bit of a liar but there's a reason for it. These are from seeds from the one Dill's Atlantic Giant pumpkin that I did get that eventually, well, I can't say that I did get, because Franklin, don't dig there. No digging there, thank you, boy. The pumpkin aborted before it matured, but I did get the seeds out of it. And so as long as I got some seedlings, I thought, well, what the heck, I'll try to grow some, but not the same kind of effort that I normally do. And that's kind of the same thing with these guys here. This is seeds rescued from the loofah gourds that we grew last year. And so I just thought, well, if I get seedlings from them, then I'll go ahead and plant them and see what happens. Then finally, we got 2 rows of okra here, and they're looking pretty good for the most part. In fact, I think there's even some little okra pods on there, or blossoms to be, that will then turn into pods. Finally, in the garden proper, we've got this bed, which I decided this year to dedicate to sunflowers. So those are all sunflowers, and many of them are doing fine, and actually they're pointing right towards the sun right now. But I do have a lot of vacancies, so I started a bunch in one of the big planters, so I can fill in vacancies like that one there, which has been gnawed off by something, so that I can get a full 4 sunflowers per row out of this bed, and I think that'll be fun once they get big and start blooming. That's just fun to grow. Now, also in the fun to grow department, this year, like I say, we're not really focusing on giant pumpkins out here. What we are focusing on is corn again, which we seem to have lots of luck with out in this bed. And we got two varieties going. On this end is all robust popcorn. And of course that'll grow all season right into the fall. And then this end is Silver Queen, my other favorite variety of corn. And they're getting pretty big already. Just planted them last week. Everybody's due to be fed, however, because they are fairly heavy eaters. And some people are fairly heavy complainers when I have the audacity to go outside the garden without him. What do you got all over your face? Okay, so back in the garden proper. We're not going to take a look at fruit trees. I don't think we're going to get much in the way of apples, if anything. But my little pear tree, which is now inside the backyard enclosure, there's lots of little pears on that guy. So he might do well. Plus, now he's protected from the deer, and I think deer have kind of a taste for pears. And I also have two other little fruit trees that I just planted. One's a nectarine and one's a peach. I don't expect anything out of them this year, but in the years to come, hopefully. Now, that brings us to a couple of planters here. And this is strawberries. And you can see there's a nice looking strawberry right there. And strawberries typically are due in June. I think I'm going to need to come up with some sort of protection from birds and actually Frankie, because Frankie does look for and enjoy strawberries. So we'll have to watch out for that. Boy, those aren't for you, boy. And then I told you I started a bunch of sunflower seedlings in this planter here, and those will all get transferred out to bed number 6 there with the vacancies that we have out there. And other than that, I think that's it. Everything is planted from a vegetable perspective. Those are all just leftover seedlings that I may use if I need to for filling vacancies. We've got flowers planted all over the place. A few flowers left over here that I still have yet to plant. Those are all extra tomato seedlings. And golly, I think that's all I have to show you for May 2016 Marvin Gardens. What a difference a month makes. Of course, I say that all the time because the garden is such a dynamic place. But we got a pretty good garden going here. The disasters we've had, kind of, I think we've recovered from, and we're going to make out okay. The busiest outdoor month at Sky Manor is now behind us, and so we're on to just watching the garden grow, and then pretty soon we'll be harvesting stuff. So that's pretty good. All right, that's going to do it for us. Happy unofficial start to summer, and by the next time we see you, it might actually be officially summer. So enjoy your upcoming summer, and we'll see you next month in June. Okay, bye y'all.